think I'm way too low. And I
Hi,
did
everybody.
From this child.
Somebody has had a very adventurous night tonight.
Adventurous.
Him and his twin went out, so brother bonding. But you know how boys are.
But I did from this child. I told him that I think I'm too wild, and I'm going right now. And I'm going right now. Yeah, just to tell them, hey, hey, boy, I think I went that way. Well, they never seen my face, and they never seen that change, and I did it now. Did it from a fucking child. Hey, and I way too wild. Yo, y'all gonna hear it now when you break the ground. When you heard it from me now. Hey, and I, hey, Fernando. How you doing? How you doing? How you? I appreciate you for always coming and dropping them shows. And I did it right now. Hey, Fernando, breaking out with a 3 and he got that sound. When he heard it, I'm just a child. When he did it all damn day, he just heard the way. Heard it when they see my face, but then I'm strange. Now they really know my name, cause they know I'm strange. Cause it really wasn't a game when I heard the thing. I said, I'm not too strange, it's the postpartum strange. Cause it's strange that I play with folks. I'm really stolen. Now they understand I'm that man who really gotta do it again. Gotta take this tour through the postpartum side of life just to do it right. But when I found the song, well, I really didn't see it. Yeah, it's a little link. It's a little link. Calling me fat or something feels right. Calling me fat or something. PH-A-T. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking like living like that is. And I'm doing it right. Doing it from the other side. The one that never blew his mind, but he slid on slids, just to slide on slides, and then tell him sometimes I gotta rock that right, cause sometimes I think I really just felt the hype. Back when I felt that, but I did it alright. Back when I did my life from the other side, y'all. Hey, pass me one of them phones, baby. And I did it alright. Ooh, hey, how you doing? I just, and I did it. Good morning, how you doing today? How you doing today? How's your morning going so far? I hope everything is going well for you. Well, technically over here it is 6:37 in the morning. Absolutely correct. I am so wrong. I need to sleep more often, you guys. I'm always up night task on some crazy things. But good morning, good morning. It is a beautiful 6:37 a.m. in the morning, guys. Thursday, October 3rd. Thank you for joining the show, the radio show, the host that does the most and ghosted in his post, and then just be like, man, somebody got to come back and roast or something. I don't know, just floating on the float. But good morning to you. How is your day going? How's your day gonna go, or how is it going? This is the Real Talk Show, so you get to talk. I'm good. I'm good actually. Just sitting here, singing songs and chilling. Just we were watching TV a little bit, but not too much actually. Just really actually sitting back, trying to get life right. But what about you? What's your day looking like? What you got planned for the day, Mister Fernando Brandon the third? Yes, the third. I like the three behind it, so I'm gonna call you Fernando Brandon the third. I just like it like that. For some reason, it's just better that way a little bit. The third, the three is just crazy. The third sounds sophisticated or something. It sounds fancy. I like it. Fernando Brandon the third. I think you should change it to Fernando Brandon the third. I'm just saying, just to try to host a little bit of a show. Getting ready for work. Where do you work at, Mr. Fernando Brandon the third? Where do you work at? What do you do for actual working and things like that? I personally am trying to start a radio show, doing the most and doing whatever. It's really a live radio show because I get to do it while living my life. So it's just the funnest part about that radio show. I get to just tell people. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. You got me blushing now. I said that was cute. It was like, it's cute. Thank you so much. See? You, Mr. Third, Mr. Fernando the Third. I'm telling you, you should definitely change your name to that. I'm advocating it as as a person right now because like he's definitely got me blushing. I like it. He's definitely fancy with it. Just slid in so nice and cute. I like it. And again, where do we work at, Mr. Fernando? I like to know if you're just getting ready for work and we hopping in the shower or something and getting ready and all of these things. I gotta see. Let's talk about it. I want to know. Oh, you work for the Marriott? Okay. And facts and do you like it? Do you like it? Do we like it? First off, before I just agree to the job, do we like the job? Like, because honestly and truthfully, when you get to meet certain people or see certain people at certain times, it's different in every location. When you're like, if you're working at a fast food restaurant, or if you're working at a hotel, or bank, even any place that you're at, you meet different people in their different environments. So, oh, you do valet parking. So, okay. So basically, it's a stop and go, grab the car. It's not bad. I mean, they might say a few words. I mean, but you get to see more. It's not bad at all. I mean, personally, I like talking to people. I think that's one of the funnest things ever. Actually being able to connect and open up. Yeah, I would. That's something to try, honestly and truthfully. When you can, because like I said, well, you're still there with actual people working with you. So honestly and truthfully, you're still able to connect with the people around you, no matter if it's the ones that's getting out the cars or the ones that you're working with. And I think that's something amazing. So it's just like if you have the mindset to even be able to do that, which everybody does. I mean, we all come from school and go straight to work. So when you come from school and go straight to work like that, it's just like you're going to be able to connect to whoever you get new best friends. It's the craziest thing. It's not necessarily new best friends, but they are technically new best friends because they're the best friends you had at that moment and they're brand new. So that's how I can explain that for the best. I think that's something awesome. You get to meet new people in there. Like I said, it's all in different environments, no matter if you're working with them or not. And then when you make that outside connection, you really get to know the person. I think that's awesome too. It's like when you get to actually see somebody for every point and version. I think people should see that as like, what do I call it? It's like people be like, "Oh, you've changed." No, it's not really necessarily changing. It's just not opening up to you more. You know, I'm giving you all parts of me at the different times and places that I can give you those parts of me. Sometimes I can't give you more intimate and sexy in this moment because this is not an intimate, sexy moment. But sometimes I can give you anger at any time because anger is actually able to be flashed out at any moment. It's the craziest thing. But you have to do it in the right amount. Because people are like, oh, it's not okay to get angry. Not necessarily. You can get a right amount of anger. Like, let's say somebody do something to your child or something. And that's the craziest thing because the people like I go too far for my child. Like literally, that's how I feel sometimes because they'll just name out everything. They just committed to crimes before they even. That was the first step. Y'all don't understand what first degree murder is. That's the problem. Y'all be like, I'm gonna do this, and you planned it out, and now you're just going for life. It's like fuck it. It was for my child. Then later in life talking about how you're gonna take your child out. That's the craziest thing, y'all. People, I love parents sometimes. Parents are so parents, and kids are so kids. Kids are so curious. I love how kids actually, people be like, oh, don't go in the store, don't touch anything. I'm like, how you gonna tell a child that when you go in the store and buy everything that you wasn't supposed to buy? That's the craziest thing to me. Y'all go in there and say, oh, I'm only going to Target to get one thing and come out with 30 bags for stuff and mad because your child was in there touching stuff. You was touching stuff too. Let's talk about it. Y'all don't want to play with me. This the action right here because everybody don't want to spill the real secrets. We are just kids in growner bodies and older bodies. They just motherfucking got bigger. That's the problem. That's the only thing that happened. We have to actually mature with our bodies. Maturance come with, and that's a new word. Maturance. I think we're gonna have to make that a real word. Maturance. I don't know. I'm fancy around here too. Fuck it. Maturance come with your mind and mental and everything that you go through as a person. Because when you actually are able to go through things that you need to go through and should go through, but not just should go through. Sometimes people go through things that they shouldn't go through, and that opens them up to new experiences and new problems and situations that they never actually sometimes get to talk about. So that's a whole different trauma or a whole different thing, because at the same time that you're not able to talk about that, you're still just whatever age that you were when you weren't able to talk about those things. And since you had to learn on your own all the things that nobody else definitely wanted to talk about, how did you learn from that? That's the weirdest question I have to ask people. It's like, you tell me that this happened to you and this happened to you, whatever the case may be, and then you just had to go through life by yourself, closed mouth, and when you did tell somebody, it was like a laugh it off moment or a true definition of a moment, and then that person's not there no more, or it was like not the way you needed it to be because there was no real closure. You were just able to open up about it for the first time or the second time or the third time, however many times, but that's not enough. When you need to tell your story, you need to tell your story. It doesn't matter how many times you need to tell your story because your story is your history. And that's the real truth about history. It's all yours. It's whatever you make it to be because nobody else is going to know it. I appreciate that. Like, nobody, but that's the truth though. Nobody else is going to know your story until they know your story. And for people to belittle anybody else's story and tell them anything is wrong or right about it, or anything is this or that, listen to it all the way through. And then know that's their story. You can't tell them if they're wrong or right about their own story because they made the decisions at the time in their life at the best moment that they could. They made the best decision they felt. They didn't feel like it was any worse or any less because in their mind of minds, they made that decision right then and there through all the moments and other moments that they had before that, combining into that one moment. Okay, this is what I should do. This is what I can't do. This is what I have to do. All into that one moment. That's how brain works. That's the real truth about that. And when people don't understand those things, they don't even see those things because other people get mad about the fact that, oh, what you did affected me. But imagine how they were being affected in that situation first because you never thought about that when you were telling them about how you were affected because they might have thought about that too or might not have because they don't want to have to make a decision before you got affected by that decision. Let's talk about that. These are just deep thoughts of a mind that's thinking all the time. You know, sometimes I get into a long, have fun scenario of things, you know. But this is real, true life facts because when your kids have to go through this, or us, we went through them. But we didn't get to see them because when you don't look back in history, because everybody's telling you to just move on, you know. So you leave all that stuff behind and then you just go through another day. It's like Groundhog Day for us. Y'all don't even realize that because the reason why is you forget yesterday trying to get to tomorrow, living in the present. It's crazy. How can we do this? How can you forget all the days that you thought that you knew by getting to the next day that you never even had? Somebody can tell me that we can talk about it. But until then, we can't talk about nothing to me because at the end of the day, it's like when you turn a certain age, as they say, once you're that certain age, I feel like you're only that certain age for one day, and then after that, you've been that age for life. I don't care what age you are. You 32. You 32 for the whole year because you're 32 now. Shut up and go live your life. It's like, but when I was 1, 2 through 10, maybe, or however old you was when you first had to actually grow up and get older. Have I been up all night? Not really. I'm yes. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. Okay. I'm an insomniac sometimes. I am. I stay up too much sometimes. That's my problem. But when you have a life to live, sometimes you know you have to honestly understand that nobody can understand what you go through until you open up about it. But you can't open up about your own life until you actually go through your own life and see it for yourself. Because when we actually reacting through the problems, like let's say you're having a fight with somebody or argument or whatever the case may be, through that argument, all you're doing is defending yourself. You're not actually seeing what the other person is saying because at the end of the day, you're already thinking about everything that you need to say back to them. And that's the problem. When you're sitting here thinking about everything that you need to say back to a person, you're not necessarily listening to the person. You're just registering what they're saying. Just so you can have something in a rebuttal to say or a defense mode as if like it's just our defense mechanism. Somebody says something that you don't like, you're automatically in a mode that makes you not like them more, so you're already like irritated with them. and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna respond like this now because first off, I don't like what you said, and that's necessarily until you actually step out of that mode and take your time to actually step back and look at what the person said and who they are. First off, because especially when we meet strangers, you can't just take a stranger for the first thing they say. You might meet a stranger that say some of the stupidest and craziest things in the world, and then you're like, you know what? I will never like this stranger. Then, however many times it takes for you to actually be around that stranger, you actually learn that that stranger's kind of cool and you like them. And then they might become your best friend. That's the problem. That's one of the biggest issues. Like when they say opposites attract, that's what they meant by real opposites attract. It's the people that you don't know. You see, it's the people that you do know. You already know them, so why be around them all the time? You know what I'm saying? Because I already know what you're gonna do. I already know it's not something that I really like, so I'm good because you've already labeled those people. But then you find a stranger in the crowd, somebody that's a whole bunch different, makes a whole lot of different sounds. Then you're like, I think I can actually try to see what this person's talking about, and I think I might like it. You know, that's just how life works. You know what I'm saying? And we never notice it because everybody, especially when you're at home, you're growing up, and we grow up in a world that tells us we should be afraid of the world, and that's crazy. We grow up in a world that tells us we should be afraid of it. How the fuck? How the fuck am I supposed to grow up in a world that tells me I should not go out them doors every day? Like, okay, well, yep, you're here now, but be afraid of us. Everybody in this bitch, because you don't know what the fuck is going on. Do you know what the fuck is going on? I'm sorry. Like, do anybody know? Because if we all are telling each other the same thing, who's telling us this? Who's starting this rumor? To not believe the next person, to not listen to the next person, or just listen to this one person who just knows everything. And it's the weirdest motherfucking coincidence in the world that we all get to scream it out, but then everybody like, well, that person doesn't know nothing because at the end of the day, one thing can take away everything somebody says. If somebody says anything to trip up or even slightly make you disagree, now you're listening to everything. Then the next thing after that is you want to try to discern through everything and start to disagree with whatever they start to say. People got to have a perfect speech just to make other people believe like, okay, I'm in Atlanta, Griffin City, ATL, it's Griffin though. I'm in Griffin right now, but it's just like most people don't understand that when you actually go through this type of life and try to do it right, what's right for a man or woman? Because when we look at all these other people around us, they all portray different things. You got doctors, lawyers, rappers, singers. You got all these different people, actors, all these things that people are that's so big in this world. But we all grow up in a world where basically we're told what we can or can't be from the moment we're a certain age. So serious. We're told what we can or can't do from a certain age. If you look like this or you're like this, and then if you don't do it, well, you're wasting yourself. You're wasting your talents away and all these extra things. It's like, well, I didn't have time to find myself when you was looking at me and finding me too. I don't understand that. How can you find me while I'm trying to find me? And then get mad at me for everything that I find inside myself first. Well, that's not what I... Hey, mama, how you doing? Maya's here. Say hey, Kamaya. I live in East Point. Oh, you live in East Point? Okay, cool. That's where my people's from. My people's from East Point. Say good morning, Kamaya. But no, seriously though, honestly and truthfully, when life goes like the way that we think that it goes, how is that? Because you have so many different places to go in life. What I mean by that is you go to school and then you taught by those rules. But then you got the rules of what your friends or whoever you make friends with go by. Then you go by your own rules in the house. Then you go by your mom's and dad rules. Then you just have to learn as you go. That's the problem. As you go and learn, you make mistakes or you're introduced to new things. It's not even necessarily mistakes because I don't even think that it's making a mistake when you're introduced to something and you're in a place and environment where you feel safe or you feel welcome and then you do it or whatever and then you're seen as bad by somebody else who wasn't even around at the time. It's just like, what the fuck are you gonna judge me for? How the hell? Yes, ma'am. I miss you. I always miss you. You gonna come see us? Come see us. She gonna come see us. I hope she come see us. She gonna come see us. Oh, we gotta come see you. That's the crazy thing. We gotta come see you. But when you actually want to tell people about all the things that you think you can go through, or they think that they can go through, or they have gone through, or what you would have done in their life, that's not right. Because how you gonna tell me what you would have done in a situation that you might have never been through? Now, if you've been through it, let's talk about it. Let's talk about your situation. Let's not judge mine. We can talk about what you've been through, but talking judging minds and trying to make it as it seem as if whatever you did in your situation made you so much whatever. That's just what you had inside of you to make you do whatever you needed to do at that moment. That moment for me was a whole different moment. Wasn't able to do what you was able to do because maybe I was doing so. I was thinking about something else. Like I said, that's just how the brain works. But you got to go back for that part. It's in the beginning of the conversation. Child, girl, you wild. You know what? You Miss Mel, you wild. Okay, see, hi, I'm innocent. I ain't do nothing. I'm innocent. I'm just y'all know what? It's about what time is it? It's about time. Yo, I'm gonna try to see if I can get some breakfast or something. Yo, it's 6:55. All right, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm about to go see if I can get some breakfast or something. let me